Welcome back to Wargamer Shut Up and Game Guide, where we're going to talk about the Trollbloods Battlebox.
We're going to troll you really hard.
Oh, God. All right, anyway, we're going to talk about the contents of the box, and then we're going to unbox it here for your amusement. So, the Trollbloods Battlebox, because I'm saying it correctly now.
Yeah, that's right.
If you've seen any of these other ones, you'll see that I've spoke only.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, I've only spoke impeccably. I've never stumbled or made any mistakes.
Nothing happened.
But we've got in this box we've got Ragnor Sky-Splitter, the Rune Master.
Yeah,
he does sound pretty awesome.
He sounds pretty metal.
He does sound pretty metal.
Ragnor Sky-Splitter.
We got a Troll Impaler, a Bouncer, and an Axer.
So I want to say right off the bat, I feel like Privateer trolled us by not including a heavy in this box.
Damn it with your troll puns. I'm actually really kind of miffed that they didn't include like a Mauler. I mean, personally, I would have been perfectly happy with a heavy, a light, and the caster. Yeah, you only get 3 models, but
I don't understand. They probably have some form of logic, troll logic, if you will, but like it doesn't make any sense to me because you look at. Like, I look at Trollbloods from the outside as a faction, and I'm like, wow, the Mauler's cool.
Yeah. Well,
wow, the Dire Trolls are cool.
So the only argument I think could be made for it in a battle box is Fury management. Like, this gives you two things. First off, it gives you more than enough Fury to run your Warlock, and also it makes you have to care about Fury management.
But it gives you more than enough Fury.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand otherwise. I really don't. Like, a Mauler should have been included in this box. I don't know how many points the Mauler is right now.
It's like 15, I think.
Is it?
I think. I'm not sure.
I'm going to find out.
Okay. Well,
Dire Troll Mauler, 15, you're right. So, I mean, yeah, okay, maybe there's not like an easy fix for that in terms of points-wise.
I just don't get, like, the thematic of, like, oh, these guys have to have a bunch of lights because trolls.
Well, okay, but let's be fair. Troll lights are better than a lot of other lights, so... Let's talk about
some of them.
Well, let's talk about these ones. Let's talk about the Impaler. So Impaler comes in rocking 11 points.
Yeah.
Arm 17, defense 12, runs or speed 5, so that's pretty good. His throwing spears 13 pow, and in melee it's also 13 pow. He's got far strike, so rather than range 8, he can be up to range 12, which is all right. He doesn't have assault. I don't think he had assault.
No,
before.
He never had assault.
Far Strike is now self-cast only, as we've talked about in previous episodes, but he's got regeneration, set defense, so -2 on attacks if you're charging or slam.
Yeah.
And impact attack rolls. There we go. And his thrown spear is critical smite, and a critical hit slam D6 inches away from this model. If it's a larger base, move only half that distance. Power is equal to the strength of the model, which is 9, so not really that much power. And...
Well, the collateral damage is equal to the strength of the model.
Oh,
so
okay.
the actual damage roll is still your POW.
Oh, okay, so it's still POW 13.
Yeah.
And of course it's a thrown weapon, so you're POW 13 regardless.
Well, no, that the thrown weapon means that you apply modifiers to your strength, to your damage roll, which is actually relevant.
Oh, okay. So we get stronger than, like, if you give him rage, I believe.
Sure. There's no rage in this box, but yeah.
But yeah. So, I mean, Impaler at 11 points, I think is reasonable. I mean, POW 13 is not super strong, but at the same time, for a light, it's not that bad.
I mean, you're not often going to be able to aim with him, even with snipe.
I mean, Rat 5's a liability for sure.
Yeah, so range 12, Rat 5.
But you're going to be boosting too.
You're going to want to boost to hit, but like that means you're not going to be able to hit things that are very high defense very often. Like, it's going to be...
You can hit defense 16 with reasonable...
15 on average with boosted dice, which is okay. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it actually has... The Impaler has some potential to do some really good stuff. I think of the lights in this box, the Impaler is probably the best for Battlebox level games.
Okay.
And I don't know if it'll see any play beyond that, because I don't know how many of the casters are reliant... Troll Warlocks are reliant on having Far Strike.
Now, the thing that gets me about him, though, is like, there is no reason to have him in melee, really. I mean, I guess you could buy more attacks.
Well, that's exactly. Like, he's got Fury 3. Like, he's going to be better in melee than at range.
But it's like, you could just keep him pretty safe and it would be fine.
8 to 12 inches isn't very safe against
I'm thinking 12 inches.
It's not very safe against everything.
And plus he's got the 5 movement as well, right? So
Sure, but you're going to end up within
12
within
at least.
Yeah. Unless you kill your target, which in Battlebox level games you're not going to. With a POW 15, even with a POW 15 from a +2 strength buff.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I mean,
but this slam is kind of nice though. Like if you can get that off, which again, you actually have a reasonable chance on 3 dice to crit.
well, and I think the thing about the critical smite too is if you can get that against enemy heavies, you're delaying them, right? Like they're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
It's going to take them a whole turn to get back.
Yeah.
Almost anyway.
Or focus. Like against heavies, you're going to slam half the distance, but they're still going to have to shake the knockdown.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the Bouncer. Bouncer comes in at 9 points, pretty much same defensive stat lines, except he gets a shield, so he's arm 19.
Yeah, he's actually higher armor.
He's got a ball and chain, so it's a chain weapon.
Yeah.
I think it's just a chain weapon, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
All right.
Chain weapon.
Regeneration as the other one. He's got Earth's Blessing, which I believe is basically girded.
No, you're not immune to blast damage. You're immune to being pushed, knocked down, made stationary.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and you can't be moved by a slam. And Earth's Blessing is actually useful to have. It's only spellcaster only, so like it's gonna be him and your your warlock. But
and then he's got Shield Guard. So
Shield Guard is very useful to have in terms of like full size games. Kind of gets replaced by Warders if you have the points to spend on them. But
Warders are expensive. But
for an expanding player, it's useful to have a Shield Guard.
That's true. And he's at armor 19 and a bunch of boxes. He's going to be able to take some punishment.
Sure.
And regeneration's probably useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, regeneration will be useful as long as you can still force him. You're not taking too much damage at once.
His offensive capabilities are pretty lackluster though. POW 11 shield attack, POW 12 ball and chain attack, although it is a 2-inch range.
They're not bad. I mean, like they're not good, but it's enough to threaten a warcaster. If you need to and you're willing to load him with Fury, like if it's your last ditch effort, he's able to threaten a warcaster. He's able to probably wreck a light, maybe. He's able to take out some infantry.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're, I think one of the issues is in a Battlebox game, you're going to be against heavies. Like
you're going to be against at least one heavy, yeah.
And he's going to bounce off of a heavy.
He's going to be a speed bump and a slam bot.
Yeah,
like
the only other thing you get here, you get the Axer, which
is going to ax you a question.
So I like the Axer actually quite a bit in a constructed environment. In a Battlebox game, I don't know that he's going to be that fantastic.
I think an Axer as like the light in a Battlebox.
Sure,
would be great.
Sure. So he's got Rush. Okay, well I'll rewind a second. He's still defense 12, arm 17, speed 5, same deal. POW 14, reach weapon, which is nice.
Which is pretty nice, yeah.
Then it's a Thresher weapon, or the weapon has Thresher,
which is useless in Battlebox games, but great for killing some infantry otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got Rush, so he's can give a target-friendly faction War Beast +2 movement when advancing as part of its normal movement, and they also get Pathfinder for that turn.
The important thing about Rush is that it's not self-cast.
Yeah.
So your Warlock can drop it on your War Beasts.
So having access to Rush is amazing. Rush is just universally awesome.
Yeah.
Thresher can be useful outside of Battlebox games. Otherwise, 10 points for POW 14 Light War Beast in the Battlebox is going to be rough. Like,
yeah, it's not great, especially with only Fury 3. Like, it's not like he can make an exceptional number of attacks either.
Well, exactly, and you're not able to. I mean, you're going to either make like 2 solid attacks, boosted.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at let's look at the Warcaster, see what he does for them, and then we'll kind of round out what we think about the Battlebox.
Ragnor Sky-Splitter.
The Rune Master.
Yeah, no one cares about that part.
Fair. Well, he's the master of runes, except unless you're Doomshaper, which
he splits the sky though, because he's like all heavy metal and shit.
Yeah, fair. I imagine that Doomshaper probably masters runes better than this guy.
We're not going to go there.
Anyway, so defense 14, arm 16, tough. That's nice. His Rumbler attack is POW 14 magical attack.
1-inch range.
1-inch range. Yeah. And in the Battlebox, he's the only one with a 1-inch reach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because the Bouncer even has a 2-inch chain weapon.
Yeah.
So he's steady, he can't be knocked down, which is awesome.
Yeah, because he's tough and steady. You can make as many tough rolls as you want. Yep. Battlebox caster, functionally invincible.
Yeah, exactly. His Rumbler has the Warhead ability,
which is really awesome in bigger than Battlebox level games.
So when this model directly hits with another model with this weapon, you can center a 4-inch AoE on the model directly hit. Models in this AoE are hit and suffer a POW 10 blast damage roll. This damage is not considered to have been caused by the attack. On a critical hit, they become knocked down. This model is not affected by a warhead.
So like Battlebox level, that's crit knockdown.
Yeah.
Like you can maybe get a POW 10 on their Warcaster if you hit a heavy.
I mean, maybe.
In most situations, you're going to be better off hitting the Warcaster and
just hitting them again.
Like you're not often going to come into a situation where you can only hit the heavy and expect to live.
That's true. Oh yeah, especially because it's your Warcaster. And he's only got 16 boxes, so he's not really that tanky. So his spell list, he's got Earth Sanctuary. So target friendly faction model becomes dug in, which means they gain cover, do not suffer blast damage, and don't block line of sight until it's been moves, is placed, or is engaged.
So like, I feel like this is the key spell in his spell list actually, because it means like unless you're doing a bunch of other shit, your whole army is gonna have cover.
Yeah, well, and they're not gonna suffer blast damage and all that nonsense.
I mean, sure, but like you can mitigate blast damage by spreading out your lights.
That's true. Also, your lights have like arm 16 in a bunch of boxes, so blast damage
17. But yeah, so blast damage doesn't really matter. But putting them all in cover, giving them defense 16 against range attacks, means you're basically not going to take any damage on the way up.
Okay.
Basically,
there you go.
I feel like this is one of two key spells he has.
All right. So his next spell is Hex Blast. Enemy upkeep spells. This is ridiculous. And enemy on the model / unit directly hit by Hex Blast immediately expire. So it's a cost 3, POW 13, AoE 3. It does have to directly hit to get rid of those.
I mean, Hex Blast is going to be okay sometimes. Like it's specifically good against buffs, although not really defense buffs because he's only got Fury 6, so it's harder to hit if you need to purge defense buffs.
Yeah. Then he's got Pulverizer.
Now Pulverizer is really good for him, I think.
So cost 3, it's an upkeep spell, so cost 1 on average. Target friendly model gains +2 strength and his melee weapons gain beatback. So beatback immediately after a basic attack with the weapon with beatback is resolved during this model's combat action. The enemy model hit can be pushed 1 inch directly away, and you follow up an inch basically.
Yeah, I feel like Pulverizer in the Battlebox is mostly going to find its time on the Impaler until it's time to do business with the Axer.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, you're still only bringing the Axer up to POW 16s, which is good.
I mean, yeah, the thing is, I think a couple of POW 16s can end a caster. Like,
probably
that's ultimately what I'm looking at.
I'm just thinking about like this box against the Khador box.
Yeah, you're gonna be praying because you're gonna throw some POW 15 spears against people and hope that they buy you enough time to have the Warjacks like half dead by the time you need to axe them a question.
Well, exactly. And then his last spell, Shockwave, costs 3, POW 14. Center a 4-inch AoE on the model directly hit. Models in the AoE become knocked down. So again, a nice knockdown tool. I think it's
all right. But again, like I think he's going to be starved for Fury a lot of the time. Like I think Pulverizer, you're gonna be casting Earth Sanctuary on a bunch of things, and you're gonna be cycling Pulverizer. Well,
the thing is though, if you run like one of your beasts up, for example, you Shockwave them in the back, and anything within the AoE gets knocked down. It's a 4-inch AoE. You're gonna be able to knock down casters and stuff that way.
I guess, but I mean, it's
without hitting them.
It's a pretty short range. It's going to cost you a bunch of your focus, your Fury rather, and you don't have really any damage to follow up on it.
That's true. And then, let's look at his feat. So, Stone's Fortitude. When an enemy model makes a damage roll against a friendly faction model in Ragnar's control range, the enemy model rolls 1 less dice, or 1 less die. It lasts for 1 round. So that's really unexciting. I mean, it's not bad. It's just not exciting.
It's a really good feat. It's just like Striker 1 because it's actually less good than Striker 1 except for things that ignore armor.
Damn it, dude.
I mean, there will be situations where your opponent like legitimately just can't hurt you on feat turns, which is nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, your beasts are going to be arm 17, so
17 and 19 in the case of the bouncer.
Yeah,
like you're basically like. You're not going to be 100% invincible on feat turn, but you're going to be pretty fucking close.
Yeah. I think. I mean, so this box has me a little confused in terms of what it's trying to do. I think Ragnar's pretty cool.
I think Ragnor is a good warlock. It doesn't feel like this is really the best place for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that running, either the Bouncer or the Axer or the Impaler, depending on what your list is fine. So having him in the collection is not a bad thing.
Sure.
But having all three of them in the Battlebox, if you're playing Battlebox level games, you're gonna be hoping to bump up the points cost pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, if you really like trolls, great. Grab this. Ragnor is a good pick, and the resources you get in here, the rulebook and whatnot, are pretty great. Get a Mauler.
A Mauler.
As soon as you can, get a Mauler.
Well, the thing is, like, if you have a Mauler, like, let's pretend that you have this plus a Mauler. I mean, you've got Rage, you've got Rush, you've got Pulverizer. I guess you can't have Rage and Rush at the same time because they're both enemies.
No, but the Mauler can have Rush cast on him and then Rage himself when he gets there.
I guess if you want to throw away the extra attacks. Well, I mean, he might not need the extra attacks.
Well, it would be one extra attack. I'm pretty sure Rage costs one.
Yeah, and then with Pulverizer, I mean, the thing is, he then is just like a monster, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean, and really any of the trolls like Mulg or Rock.
Well, yeah, exactly. Just Mauler is your basic beat stick, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just if this box had just been like Axer and Mauler,
I think it'd be way better.
It would have been pretty great. Because the thing is, even his spell list wants you to have a heavy. I feel like Earth Sanctuary is better for fewer models of higher importance.
Yeah.
So, you can drop cover on himself, you can drop cover on your heavy, you can drop cover on your Impaler. I mean, in this list, you can drop cover on everything and still upkeep Pulverizer. So I feel like you're going to be doing that a bunch. Like, you're going to be getting towards an objective, having your fucking Impaler snipe things and drop cover on everything.
Yeah, and I mean, your Bouncer's going to just stand around for pretty much the whole game.
I mean, again, your Bouncer's going to be a shield guard against some armies, and against other armies, he's going to be a slam bot.
I guess.
I feel like the one strength of having 3 lights in here rather than a light and a heavy is that you have more slam vectors, and slamming is something that people should learn how to do. I
guess. I mean, and you're going to need to.
I mean, sure.
But I mean, although that being said, like, what slams an extra 3 inches, right? Like, it's similar to charge.
Yeah.
So your speed 5 plus 3 with rush, you're slamming
10 inches.
10 inches. That's not bad. Because you have to be base to base. You can't use your reach weapon.
It's like half-inch reach for slam. So it's 10.5-inch threat.
So, I mean, that's respectable, especially if you're dealing with, like, again, Khador heavies, which are going to be a problem. You might not have to deal with them. You can just slam, run away. That might be fine. And then, maybe you tackle. Like, I think he can walk up and 1v1 pretty much most casters.
Yeah, I mean, especially he can put Pulverizer on himself too. Like,
yeah. So I like the box. I wish that you would have got a Mauler, because that's.
I agree. I would have rather seen this with a heavy, but Privateer is just intent on trolling us.
Oh, God damn it! All right, so let's take a look at the contents of the Trollbloods box. Bam! All right, so let's crack this open.
Steve with the expert fingernail maneuver.
Well, you gotta have that finesse, man.
Yeah, man, I don't have that at all. I keep my fingernails trim.
They're pretty trim.
No, like mine are super trim.
Well, fine. Anyway, here is the Trollbloods box. That
they don't keep their fingernails trim.
They could.
They could, but they don't. I don't think they do. I think it's extremely unlikely. They're Trollbloods.
Fair enough. Anyway, so this box opens up in a nicely convenient fashion, so you can actually reuse the box, which is cool.
Allow me to demonstrate.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yay!
And if you do it the third time, you're making love to the box.
Well, I mean, in practicality speaking, you may want to poke a tiny little hole just so there's somewhere for air to escape easily when you're opening and closing it.
That makes sense.
If you're using it as a long-term solution, which you probably shouldn't, but...
Well, I mean, we'll see.
Short and medium term, yeah, sure, whatever.
In any case, it comes with the Horde's Primal Digest. So this is
rules.
I don't know if there's any actual difference between the Primal Digest and the Prime Digest.
I suspect the Warcaster and Warlock rules are swapped.
See, the thing is, though, is at least on their Facebook group, they said that wasn't the case. That both rules were for.
They have them in both books. I read through the Prime rule book, and the stuff with Warlocks and War Beasts is like an addendum at the end. It's still in there. It's just it's not in like the main sort of chunk. So I suspect that this is like main thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then at the end, it's like, this is how the other games.
That's right. Appendix B, War Machine rules versus Prime. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. So you actually do get both the rules, which is pretty cool. You get a laminated paper ruler, which will hold up for half a game. Well, it's actually feels not bad. So we get our Trollbloods introductory guide, which I kind of want to go through a little bit. So you get a story that introduces the Warcaster and gives you a little bit of background.
Ragnor Sky-Splitter.
We got Battle Tactics, which tells you kind of what we just went through. It goes over what each model does to a certain extent. It gives you suggestions as to how you can expand your force, as well as
but hey, ignore that. We're going to do it.
Suggestions for a full army. But well, yeah, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be. This is actually the first video in a video series for the Trollbloods box here, where we're going to expand in increments up to a full-size game. And the idea is that we're going to keep in mind both, what might be good for your collection, what might be good for the current army, and what might be, not terribly hefty on the wallet. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be kind of our version of this. This is just kind of a quick leaflet. But most importantly in this book, I think, is we're going to flip through this. This right here. So this gives you your painting guides. This is gives you all of the things you need to know about what colors to use and whatnot if you want to replicate the Trollbloods colors. And failing that, you could always do the Troll Crypts colors.
The what?
The Troll Crypts colors.
God damn it. Fuck off.
Come on, that was pretty good. I thought that was good. It comes with your 24 by 24 inch playmat. One side has markers for to correspond with the play guide, which we'll go through in a moment. The other side is just if you want to throw it on with your buddies, and that's cool too. The basic training guide gives you 11 different scenarios to come up to speed with the game if you've never played before. So if you've never played a tabletop war game of any kind, or War Machine more specifically, Hordes in this case, this is a great guide. So if you're feeling a little like you're brand new to the game, you picked up the box, you're feeling a little unsure as to how the game goes, this will ease you into the process of playing the game, which is nice. You get your templates here, which you can photocopy or cut out. And then, importantly, in the back, it gives you some generic cards, so that which are actually hordes, so that in the event that you don't want to go through all of the stats and stuff like that, you don't want to be overwhelmed by the stuff that's in the box already.
I'm pretty sure the basic training scenarios use these because they'll reference those.
Yeah, probably
specifically.
We haven't actually gone through those yet. We may do a video series on that. I'm not sure yet.
Possibly. Also, I'd like to point out now that this is the Hordes one and I can see it very, very clearly. This is Epic Balder and a Feral in silhouette. So
no, they could be anybody.
Yeah,
could be anybody.
Anybody holding Triton and any Warp Wolf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got dice. Our 4 black dice, white pips.
Why you gotta be like that, man?
Because I just gotta.
Why you gotta be like that?
Why you gotta fight me on this?
I don't know. The tokens.
We got the tokens. So these are our standard privateer tokens. The same as in the War Machine boxes, but they come with 10 Focus/Fury tokens and 3 spell tokens. They are the hard plastic version, so they're the same ones that you would have bought if you were him or me and had bought a shitload of tokens. So it's nice that they give you quality stuff that you'll be able to use forever. We've got our cards, obviously. And on the back, the final card in this little package is the linear obstacle. So you can bend that into being a little wall.
Are you tired of saying that yet?
Not at all.
All right.
Then inside the box,
the Trollbloods get to be a nice baby blue color.
They do get to be a nice baby blue color. And the purpose, according to Privateer Press anyway, for the colored plastic is so that if you're a new player, build them up, throw them down on the table. You don't have to necessarily paint them initially, and you can identify at a glance which ones are yours.
Yeah.
Now,
and Trollbloods are blue baby blue because they're for babies.
No, it's because you want to hit them one more time.
I mean, okay, tough makes that work.
1990s Britney Spears joke. Oh yeah.
Hey, it's relevant.
There you go.
Although not so much the Warbeast, just him.
So this is our Warcaster.
What's his name?
Ragnor Sky-Splitter. He is fucking awesome. And he's packaged by himself. All 3 of the lights, however, are packaged inside of the same bag.
This is called a Trollblood scrum, or a clusterfuck, as we like to call it.
Yeah, in Canada anyway. So when you're building these, just pay attention to the actual box. Make sure you're not putting the wrong arms on the wrong guys.
I mean, Canada, wouldn't it be a clusterfuck, eh? What? I don't know. I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense under any context.
Super Newfie for no reason.
And that doesn't even sound like something Newfies would say.
No.
You just made this shit up.
Yep.
I want you to feel bad about that one.
I'm not going to feel bad about it.
All right. So you get an Axer, Impaler, Bouncer, all inside the one bag. Yeah. And then the Ragnor Sky-Splitter.
Just as a guideline, the Axer seems to be mostly gruff and grumpy, but not very upset. The Impaler is in the process of yelling, and the Bouncer is gritting his teeth, probably taking a shit in his armor.
Well, I mean, you're not going to give up. It actually does look like that. That's fantastic. But to be fair, you're not gonna leave your Warcaster you're bouncing for to go take a dump.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like he's the one who's gonna shield guard, right? So, when that fucking Khador Conquest shoots at your Warcaster, the Bouncer has to be the one
dives in the way.
Yeah, he dives in the way while simultaneously shitting himself because he knows he's about to eat a shot from a fucking Conquest.
I think every time that happens, you have to yell stage dive. But anyway, so he is...
And I will always serve you.
Just to be clear as to who we're talking about. He also looks like he could just be thinking really hard on like a very menial task.
Yeah, but trolls... Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, how I swing ball and chain, I don't know. I do things.
And I mean, now it looks like Ragnar's just upset at dealing with this kind of idiocy.
Ragnar looks like he has a little bit of an underbite and he's like constipated.
No. He looks like he's like, these idiots, why?
No, man, Ragnar is splitting the sky, okay?
Okay. Well, you know what? How about we let the viewers decide? What do you think Ragnor looks like? Do you think he's just tired of the idiocy of his beast, or is he just working on splitting the sky? Or both.
Splitting the sky, now a euphemism for trolls taking a shit.
Oh my god. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for the Trollbloods Battle Group unboxing. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends.
As a disclaimer, no hatred of trolls was shown in this video. I was just being facetious. And facetious.
Use a racist. You don't like the troll kind.
Facetious, as in feces.
Oh my god.
Because shit. I get it.
Thanks for watching, and check us out in the next one.
Come check out the Connection Games and Comics. We have the largest selection of War Machine and Hordes miniatures in the Lower Mainland. War Machine Wednesdays and Sundays, with tables and terrain to play your game.